Well, hello, beautiful friends. Happy Sunday. This is an impromptu video, so welcome to Sean K's Beauty Bar, where we grab from the bar and discuss all things beauty. So what that is you leave your questions down below. I feature them here on this channel, and I was going through my questions today that a lovely subscriber had left, and it was about the Beauty Blender and could I show or talk about how to deep clean your beauty blender. Now, here's the thing. If you're new to my channel, I'm sorry, my name is Sean. My background is microbiology and biochemistry. I bring science to beauty, and I do luxury makeup tutorials and luxury unboxings. So what I was getting to is, here's the thing. I don't really use beauty blenders. However, I do have a pack sitting that's pretty new. So when guests and friends come over and they need to put on makeup and they don't have their tools, I have a pack of beauty blenders. So I didn't want to just dirty this beauty blender, Kelsey, just to show you how to clean it, because I also had to do a review of the Clé de Peau Beauté, and I have to run errands. So it only made sense to incorporate all of it together. So I'm doing one side with a makeup brush, the other side with the beauty blender. I'm also going to review this product and do the deep clean of this beauty blender so that I'm not disrespecting the lady that also gifted this to me. This Clé de Peau Beauté foundation is $130. It was gifted to me by Shauna Sheree. I will leave her Instagram right here. And because I know that, when I'm gifted anything, I want to take even more care of the gift because I don't want to disrespect the person. Maybe that's my culture. Let's get right into this. And Kelsey, this video, my darling, is for you. Okay, so let's talk about the Clé de Peau Beauté. It claims 24-hour wear, gets rid of any dullness from the skin, is not supposed to settle in lines. This one is the Radiant Foundation. It is a matte finish. Let's look at the ingredient list for a second. It has dimethicone, water, polymethyl siloxane, glycerin, trimethyl siloxylicate, butylene glycol, talc. Okay, so here's a few things to know about this. It is very silicone rich. So if you're using a primer with this, I would definitely say get a silicone-based primer because water-based anything with silicone is going to bring about separation. The other claims on this is that it has an SPF in it. The SPF 20 is really not enough to protect you from the sun, so definitely a 30 or higher is what you want to use. So use your sunscreen with this as well, but they are very transparent when they tell you that please use other agents to protect you from the sun. So I really appreciate that. It also says that this is a hybrid of makeup and skincare. And believe it or not, that is a true claim. Glycerin is an emollient, it locks in moisture, and silicone is very beneficial to the skin. And I mentioned this in a lot of other videos about silicone. So it doesn't clog pores, so it's not comedogenic. It also is going to be the padding if you're using something with glycolic acid, that kind of thing. Your butylene glycol is a conditioning agent. It's going to help pigments, dyes, that kind of thing, not to clump in a formula or in a mixture like this. Does that make sense? So it's a fatty alcohol, so it's not going to dry out the skin. The talc, you've got to use a considerable amount of talc to, and I know there's been so much controversy around talc, but it is subjective. It's what you decide you want to use, okay? So purified talc is fine. It's just the purification of talc needs to happen for it to be really not harmful to an individual. So I don't foresee a Clé de Peau or a really scientifically driven brand putting in like contaminated product. That's just my take on it. This does have fragrance, so I would say if you have dry skin, let's stay away from the fragrance, especially with the winter months coming up. The fragrance, just overexposure of it can really dry up the skin. I have normal skin, and you know, mattes are my jam. However, I use a lot of hydrating products underneath my matte foundations. So I don't have on sunscreen and I don't have on a primer. I just put on my, what did I put on? I put on my Ultra Facial Moisturizer from Kiehl's, and I also used my lavender spray from Badescu, and that's all I put on in this video. So without further ado, let's get into this makeup tutorial, talking about the microbes that live in your sponges versus your brushes, the differences between a sponge versus a brush, and also it's just like a little chit chat, get ready with me, and an overview of this product. You get to see what it's like, and if you're curious about buying it, then you might want to try this. So yeah, let's get right into this. Okay, so I did put on some Chanel. I'm putting on a little bit more. I'm in love with this lip balm. I don't know if anybody else has tried this before, but it's so good when you're putting on your makeup, just keeping your lips hydrated. I'm just going to use a little bit on the back of clean hands. I've already sanitized the nozzle. And this is the consistency of it, very thick as silicone is. I'm just going to use my mirror here from Estee Lauder, and I'm just going to start applying this from inside out. Okay, so off the top, I would say it does have a fragrance that does not bother me. However, you know, if you're opposed to fragrance, this would not be your jam. So I'm just really tapping this in with my foundation brush just to make sure I get this in beautifully, and then hopefully you guys can see. Really love this. And what I love about foundations like this, just like my Fenty, you can get the job done really quick. Now, this is more of a cool, I feel, foundation for those with the cooler undertones, because you can see it's giving me more of a white cast, but this is not going to bother me. Why I say that is because I am going to warm this up with my MAC Skinifinish in Dark Deep. That's all I need to use. I wouldn't use a lot of this. I would want to probably, I know their shades are kind of interesting from what I've heard, from cools to warm undertones, which most foundations are. So I'm probably gonna have to look and see what would be one with a warmer undertone. All right, let's try the other side with the Beauty Blender. The one thing about a Beauty Blender is that it does absorb a ton of product, so you find yourself using more product. As you could see with these brush, it just distributed the product with a higher concentration of product. This one shears it out quite a bit. I'm not mad either way. I am not mad either way, my friends. Okay, so I'm bringing you in close. This is a sponge, sheer application for sure. This is the foundation brush, a lot more heavier with the coverage. For me, I prefer brushes because it gives me a heavier coverage, but it is to each his own, it's subjective. Now, another reason why I prefer the brush is because I can sanitize these properly. Whereas with a beauty blender, if it doesn't dry properly on the inside, you can have fungus and mold, as well as Staphylococcus and E. coli. So to Kelsey, your question, the one thing we want to do with these beauty blenders is you want to use a antibacterial solution. Another thing I would say too is after you clean it underneath the zinc with your solution, what you want to do is you want a bowl like this, fill it with water and put it in the water and then into the microwave for about 60 seconds. And you're going to disinfect and kill most microbes can withstand high heat. So definitely the microwave is going to be your friend, or you can dry zap it after you clean it, putting it on something that is not going to flare up in the microwave, and then dry zap it. Another tip is you want to make sure that you're throwing this away after 3 months. All right, so I'm going to lighten underneath my eyes with the Double Wear Concealer. This is also very silicone rich. So I try to use as many silicone-based products together just because, again, we don't want movement. I've gotten questions of why a more expensive foundation and not the drugstore. And I would say the reason is because The more expensive foundations are pretty much made for women who have either skincare concerns or like wanting to fill in fine lines, wanting to minimize pores, which you get more technology and more science behind the formulations in the higher foundations than you do in the lesser. So that's the reason why a lot of women go into the higher end foundations, because they see the skincare benefits of them, and they also see the finish is much better than that of the drugstore. I look like Casper the Friendly Ghost, so notice I said friendly. I'm going to go in and I'm going to use my MAC Skin Finish in Dark Deep. And I'm just going to not start moving in the concealer area, but around it with my MAC Skin Finish just to warm up this foundation. Really, really love this. Under my eyes, I'm going in with the Fenty Honey. I do want to try the Laura Mercier in their yellow shade. It's much more yellow than this. It reminds me of Sacha Buttercup, and I was so intrigued to try that. I actually watched the Badura twins use it, and it looks so good. So I'm just going to set right here, not taking this under the eyes, because this is one that is very blurring, but if you use it directly under the eyes, it can lend to cracking. So I just use a little bit like right on the orbital bone. I'm just warming everything up just a little bit with the Fenty Mocha Mami. And I'm just gonna dust a little bit of my skin finish on top of that, because again, I want everything to look very seamless and effortless. And if I find that I use a little bit too much product, I kind of tone it all down with the MAC Skin Finish. So a quick, just get it done in and out. When you're running errands, you don't have to do a lot. I'm gonna go in with the Estee Lauder Bronze Goddess Desert Heat. This is really, really good. I mentioned this on my favorites video. This is number 5. These go by numbers, and it's super pigmented. And I'm just gonna take that right here with this big fluffy brush into my transition area. This brush is really great for, I got this in an Ipsy subscription some time back. It's really, really good. Okay, so I'm gonna use this color right here, right on my lids, and I'm gonna deepen everything up with a darker brown, tapping off the excess. And I'm just using and packing this on with this Mary Kay brush. This is just a great look for running errands. So I got a question about my background, why science? So I wanted to start off being a cardiologist, and then I realized when I got into college that I was really intrigued by investigative studies. So microbiology and doing research was my jam. And the thought that I could really help people in that regard about microbes and how they take over the human cell and can cause the human cell to really replicate its own viral RNA or DNA was intriguing to me. I felt like it was a calling of mine. I graduated with honors and did the whole lead microbiologist, lead biochemist at 2 different companies in my life, and just really, really love science and what it has to offer. Now I'm bringing science to beauty, and it's still a true love of mine. So I'm really excited. But I do love high fashion, luxury fashion, and I have a love for a lot of things. I'm going in with this dark chocolate brown shade right here, and I'm just going to take this right into that crease area, just to deepen that up a bit. I do the same on this side. I'm using a Scott Barnes number 62 brush. This is one of my favorites for doing something like this. Okay, so I wanted to show you all too. I'm using my fingers to apply that same light brown shade that I showed you all, this one right here. And it just gives me more payoff from the heat from my fingers along with the oils on my fingers to really get more payoff in there. And it is gorgeous. I love this color. Love, love, love this color. I'm gonna use a little bit of this gold shade, which is at the top, just for an inner corner highlight. I'm going into one of my favorite blushes now that has become one of my favorites of all time, and this was recommended by CV Makeup Lover. This is the color Rosewood. I will leave all of these ladies that I mentioned down below in the description so you all can check out their channel. It's my crystal CV Makeup Lover. And I'm just, look at this. It's just very youthful. It is one that you can pack on. You can also use this as an eyeshadow as well. If you all want me to show you how to use your products to do multiple things, I can do that again. You guys seem to enjoy those videos as well. This is the Mirage from Estee Lauder. Again, another favorite of mine. You saw it in my favorites video. And I'm just gonna take that right here along the sides. Because when you're just running errands, like you don't need to use a lot of, you know, overpowering. Like if it's nighttime and I really just taking that down my nose and I really want to go out, then I would pull out the Fenty. Now up my nose with a little bit of this Fenty Mocha Mami from the beautiful Rihanna. And I'm going to go in with my Scott Barnes number 63 brush, which is really great for contouring the nose because it is angled. And to the lovely subscriber that just found me today is Sunday, guys. She said, I'm so glad I found you because you make makeup applications so simple. And I think that's what we all want, right? We don't want, anytime something's complicated, we don't want to do it and we get discouraged and we give up. And it shouldn't be that way. Makeup is definitely one to be enjoyed. So I'm gonna go in with my sword here from Mr. Scott Barnes, and I'm just gonna dust again over everything. Okay, so I'm going in with the Chanel Psyche. This is a eyeliner. It is not a lip liner, but so far so good, and I've been using it nonstop. I'm gonna have to buy another one of these. It just glides on so beautifully. It's pigmented, it's soft, it's just really, really nice. I'm gonna go in with the Libre shade, and I'm just gonna put that right on top of this lip balm. Now this is not a matte finish. I'm using the camera here, but you all can see me apply this, but one of my subscribers recommended this product. I mentioned it in my favorites video, and she did not lead me wrong. All right, going into lashes, I'm using Shandelier Luxe lashes, and I'm going to go in with Classic Charm. These are definitely lightweight, more natural looking, and you can wear them all day. I am in love with these lashes. This is from the bridal collection. So I'm just going to put these on. They are more of a winged lash. So starts off small and wings out. I will leave the link down below to the website. And I'm just gonna grab out some glue. The glue that I like to use is the Kiss glue. I definitely say if you want something comfortable, light and easy, this is gonna be it. I'm gonna show you how easy it is. We are just going to place this in the middle of the lash, and there we go. It is applied. I wanted these to be very natural, very wispy, very lightweight, and very comfortable because I do love to do falsies. And I found like sometimes when I wear lashes, they were just way too heavy on the eyes, and I don't want to weigh my eyes down, and I don't want to lose, if I'm using eyeshadow, losing that because the lashes, the density is too dark. So there we go. I just put that on, and I'm just going to lay this down here with tweezers, lay this one down. And I just want to say a huge thank you to Kinky Sweat, Mo Makeup, Mo Beauty, Vicky Gia, Kelsey Brianna J, Like all these beautiful women are supporting my lash line, and I am so grateful. Billie Jeans, Fumi, who is a model out of New York. I want different nationalities, ethnicities wearing my lashes. Like that is my ultimate goal. I want to highlight who's never been highlighted. All women are beautiful, every single one. Okay, so I just went on top of my lashes with the Le Liner de Chanel, and this is in Noir. All right, friends, so it doesn't seem like there's a major difference between the Beauty Blender, well, I guess a little bit sheerer for sure than this side. So maybe this one definitely looks like it has fuller coverage now that I'm stepping back. It is a really good foundation. Is it my favorite? No, but you know, everybody's opinion is subjective, so it might be good for somebody else who's tried this. I mean, like their favorite. But I can't say anything negative about it with it being drying or feeling like majorly uncomfortable and matte. It is a true matte finish. I had to do a lot to really bring this color down, and that's no fault of Clé de Peau. This would be good for the person that is the truest shade to the 080. But it was great to test it out, so thank you, Shauna Sheree. I definitely will try the warmer shade and just see what it does. But the reason why I say it's not my favorite is because I don't know, there's a more comfortable feel that I get from my Fenty 420 from the Pro Filter Matte. And it's also a more comfortable feel that I get even from the Chanel Velvet Matte Foundation as well. I can see that this looks more full and this one looks a little bit more sheer, and it's just subjective. It's not bad either way. However, I would say, you know, your sponges are going to harbor a lot more bacteria than your brushes. Your brushes are easier to sanitize. Sponges are one that you're soaking a lot, and if you're not allowing it to be cleaned and dried properly, then you've got mold living on the inside of your sponge. The likelihood of an infestation of microbes is going to be even greater because we still do need to sanitize our compacts as well as the tools that we're using, okay, if that makes sense. So Kelsey, I hope you found this video to be helpful. You know, I didn't want to do a dedicated beauty blender deep clean because I just didn't feel like it would be enough content, but to incorporate it in with this makeup review of the foundation and do a tutorial to really show you what we really do need to be doing after an application of putting on makeup. We don't want these sponges, you know, being damp and sitting and we just go about our day. We want to clean these sponges after every single time we use them. But the discussion continues. Leave your comments down below. I look forward to corresponding with you all. Shanke's Beauty Bar is about you. We just grab your questions from the beauty dish and feature them here on this channel.